Celebrity scandals and controversies are nothing new. When all eyes are on you with many people waiting for you to mess up or get caught, there's at least one headline every day talking about the next bad thing that a celebrity has done. That seems to have happened a lot so far this year, so let's talk about it as we count down the top 10 celebrities who crossed the line in 2021. At number 10, Sia. Singer-songwriter and Grammy winner Sia faced some pretty serious backlash following the release of her feature film Music, starring Maddie Ziegler. The film is about a young, non-verbal girl on the autism spectrum, and though the film brought in decent amounts of success, a lot of other people took offense to it. Those in the autism community especially have had a lot of negative things to say about the film and its content, with their biggest complaint being the fact that the lead role wasn't given to someone on the autism spectrum. The role instead went to Maddie Ziegler, who's worked closely with Sia for many years. Sia defended her casting choice by saying that Maddie was simply just the best fit for the role, but some fans have been holding the singer accountable for not providing proper representation for the community. Other than the backlash that came with the casting choice, Sia also faced scrutiny for some triggering content and for the portrayal of a type of restraint in the film. The overall thought was that the film seemed to glorify the experience of being on the autism spectrum, which many people took offense to. I guess you could say that in a way she crossed the line with the film because she didn't do a good enough job representing an entire community, and because this film included some pretty triggering content as well. At number 9, Marilyn Manson. I'm sure that by now you are all familiar with what went down with Marilyn Manson earlier this year. The singer was exposed for having hurt a number of his former partners, and some of the information that's come out detailing some of his actions really show how much he crossed the line with these women. It all started when actress Evan Rachel Wood posted a statement to her Instagram calling Marilyn out for hurting her while they were together. In the statement, Evan called Marilyn manipulative and even brought up how he brainwashed her and caused her so much pain while they were together. Sadly, Evan isn't the only person who's come forward with horrible stories about the singer. Another public figure who's come forward is Game of Thrones actress Esme Bianco, who told sources about some of the things that she endured while with him. Now, because he crossed this line following this scandal, Marilyn was dropped from his music label, and an investigation was launched by the LA County Sheriff's Department looking into some of the allegations against the singer. Now, before I carry on with the list, I would like to take a moment to ask you guys to consider leaving a big old thumbs up if you're doing so far. Your likes mean a lot to us and help to support the channel, so I want to see those thumbs going way up. At number 8, Justin Timberlake. After all these years, people are now starting to realize that Justin Timberlake isn't as innocent as we all once thought. After the Framing Britney Spears documentary came out this year, it opened a lot of people's eyes and showed the public how Justin crossed the line after he ended his relationship with Britney back in the day. Justin essentially got exposed for the way he handled his high-profile breakup with Britney, and fans dragged him forward, asking him to apologize for his actions and take accountability. The documentary looked into the way that Britney was portrayed in the media, from the paparazzi to interviews, and it takes an in-depth look into how this stardom affected her, and a big part of the documentary explored Justin Timberlake's role in the media's mistreatment of Britney after their public breakup in 2002, showing that after their relationship ended, Justin made Britney look like a villain in the relationship, accusing her of cheating and essentially weaponizing their breakup to boost his career. This prompted the media to point fingers at Britney and put a lot of pressure and blame on the singer, who really didn't deserve all of that negative attention. He crossed the line by making Britney look like the villain in the relationship when in reality she did nothing wrong. At number 7, Sharon Osbourne. We are often reminded how powerful our words can be. Our words can incite change, but it can also hurt others, and this is how talk show host Sharon Osbourne found herself in some hot water earlier this year. After making some comments about Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, Sharon faced backlash and crossed the line by making the harsh comments that she did. This all went down on The View as Sharon Osbourne and Cheryl Underwood got into a heated argument surrounding Piers Morgan's remarks about Meghan Markle. During this feud, Sharon backed up Pierce's comments about Meghan's mental health, and this frustrated Cheryl because she didn't like the comments that were being made about those involved. This was a very heated debate, and it got even bigger, and this prompted an internal investigation after it was alleged that Sharon had been making disrespectful comments about her fellow hosts. She definitely crossed the line when she started disrespecting her co-workers, but in the end she was fired and promptly cancelled online. At number 6, James Charles. When you have an inappropriate relationship with someone, you're definitely crossing a line. Beauty YouTuber James Charles has certainly crossed that line, as he's been caught having a few inappropriate relationships with some of his fans under the age of 18. James has faced backlash for this sort of thing, but yet he continues to get caught. Recently, James was hit with backlash after it was discovered that he had solicited private photos from a fan who turned out to be under the age of 18. James was exposed by said fan on social media, where they showed off the messages and photos sent to each other over the period of time that they had been talking. This happened in late February, but a similar event happened just a few weeks prior to this incident after another young man came forward exposing James and recounting how he and James had been having explicit conversations on Snapchat. The fact that James keeps crossing this line and keeps getting caught says a lot about him, and people are starting to catch on to this, as in recent weeks, James not only lost his collaboration with Morphe, but he also lost out on a web series hosting job, and his channel got demonetized by YouTube. Guess that's what happens when you overstep. At number 5, Armie Hammer. The story of Armie Hammer has evolved a bit over the course of the year. At first, this scandal consisted of some DMs being leaked, but it turned out that this leak was only the beginning and became a catalyst for what came next. The world found out about how Armie crossed the line on a few occasions with a handful of women, and an investigation was even launched by the LAPD to look into these claims. One person even came forward to talk about what they endured when with Armie, and in their statement they spoke about how the actor had harmed them on a mental, physical, and emotional level during their relationship. They also told sources about how Armie had gotten physical with them and forced them to do things that they weren't comfortable doing. This was a serious line to cross, and as a result, Armie has pretty much lost everything from his talent agency to his publicist and a number of movie roles as well. At number 4, James Corden. Recently, TV host James Corden was caught crossing the line when it came to his comedy and commentary on his Late Show, but more specifically in regards to his Spill Your Guts segment. Fans have been calling for James to take accountability after he made some comments about some Asian foods that he had on the show that some fans saw as taking things too far. Because the foods that they use in the Spill Your Guts segment are supposed to be ones that you wouldn't want to eat, the fact that some Asian foods like balut were used and called quote disgusting made a lot of people speak up about it and took to the internet to call for accountability and an apology from James Corden. Apparently, people have pointed out that this behavior from James has been going on for quite a while, meaning that he's crossed this line before. Some have even created a petition calling for the removal of the Spill Your Guts segment, so this just shows how much trouble James seems to be in with his fans. At number 3, David Letterman. David Letterman was recently met with a little bit of cancellation from the internet after some old interviews resurfaced online which showed David crossing a line with his guests on his late night show. First, Letterman was met with backlash for asking insensitive questions to Lindsay Lohan during their 2013 interview, where they spoke about her addiction and struggles in rehab. Once people clued into how unsettling this interview was, people went digging and found another interview that showed David being inappropriate and going a little too far. A 1998 Late Show interview with Jennifer Aniston was brought to light, which showed Letterman sucking on Jennifer's hair. The clip shows Letterman moving his chair behind the actress and putting her hair in his mouth, then later giving her a napkin to wipe it off. After this incident, she looks very uncomfortable, later saying that she was traumatized by the whole thing. This clip exposed David for his inappropriate and uncomfortable actions, with many people calling for accountability to be taken. He certainly crossed a line with his guests by making them feel uncomfortable. At number 2, Dr. Phil. After years of staying silent on the matter, rapper Bad Baby, aka Danielle Bregoli, recently came forward about alleged physical reprimandation that she sustained at a reform camp that she was sent to after being on Dr. Phil's show. Danielle posted a video to her YouTube channel opening up about what she experienced, detailing how staff at the camp called Turnabout Ranch treated her and other kids, saying that she was taken from her home in the middle of the night, handcuffed, and wasn't allowed to sleep or shower for 3 days. She also said that staff used restraints on people, and some people claimed to have been assaulted while there. Danielle exposed Dr. Phil for recommending such a terrible place and demanded that he apologize to her and anyone else he sent there. Turnabout Ranch is described as a quote, boot camp for troubled teens, and Dr. Phil has recommended parents send their kids to this facility for help with their troubled behavior. Knowing what horrible things have happened at that facility, Dr. Phil certainly crossed the line big time when he decided to recommend this place for parents to send their kids. And finally, at number 1, Chrissy Teigen. Chrissy Teigen has been simmering simmering in some hot water for a little while now, as she was recently exposed for some of her offensive past tweets and DMs. These alleged posts seem to show Chrissy publicly bullying a then 16-year-old Courtney Stodden. Courtney, who rose to fame after they married Doug Hutchison when they were still a teenager, sparked international attention after getting married and seemingly saw Chrissy turn dark as she allegedly sent a number of hateful messages to Courtney. Courtney spoke out about how they received such hateful messages from Chrissy, where they said, quote, "I think for me, because I experienced so much harassment and bullying from her when I was just 16 years old, just 17 years old, just 18 years old, at a time when I needed help, like I was being abused," end quote. Chrissy has since apologized to Courtney for her actions, but if you've read the messages that Chrissy sent, you would really see how she crossed the line there. Courtney has carried those messages with them for years, and if you knew what they said, then you would certainly understand why. Now I want to know, which celebrity on this list surprised you the most with their actions and controversy? There's a lot to choose from, so let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Anyways, that's it for me. I've been your host, Brie Room, and until next time, stay safe, make good choices, and stay goopy, friends. Bye!